Hey guys, welcome back to That's Good Fish. We're here tonight with Chad Allison. He's the winner of the FLW Costa Series on Table Rock Lake. Chad won the co-angler side. So we're going to just basically do a review of what he threw, where he caught him, who he fished with. So let's dig in. Chad, you fished with three different guys, 3 different days.
Yes.
Just tell us kind of who you drew and what it was like fishing with them.
Okay, the first day I drew out Pete Winters. He's a local guy down on Table Rock Lake, and we pretty much stayed down lake in the dam area within sight of Kimberling City. Is probably the farthest we went up towards the river. Worked around there mainly, fishing out deep. He was just catching fish earlier in the week out deep, and so that's where he had his confidence. And so we stayed out there. That's when I picked up an Alabama rig a lot through that, threw a jerk bait around some. And that's pretty much the 2 baits that I concentrated on out there in that deeper water. So.
Okay. And the second day, did you draw the same guy, or was it somebody different?
No, the second day I drew out a kid from Tennessee, and we went way up the James River. So it's kind of, I went from one area of the lake completely to an opposite end of the lake. So that was kind of, I knew I just needed to stay in my mind how I felt confident I could catch some fish. And so we went up there, and I did some of the same stuff up there that I did. I fished out of the back of the boat because he had me right up on the bank, and so I had to kind of adapt a little bit to that part of it. But I started catching some fish, which moved him out a little bit and got me to where I could catch some fish behind him. And then about noon, almost 1 o'clock on that second day, we went to some of my areas that I've been catching fish in this year, and I was able to call out 2 keepers there, 2 key bites. I got a 1/4, and then I got a good solid 3.5. So I made 2 good calls off my water, so it felt pretty good to do that. So.
And then the third day, you drew Mike McClellan. You were leading at that time, and he was leading at that time. Tell me what that was like.
It was pretty neat deal, getting to meet Mike McClellan and kind of hang out with him, and then on the night before, and kind of get a game plan in our minds. And what was really good was he respected the fact that I had a good couple of days and knew that I knew the lake too, and he's from down there as well. So we basically kind of agreed on working together to try to make it happen for both of us. And we each came up, a fish short of our limits, which I thought was going to probably be detrimental to me.
Sure.
But I had a good enough lead that I was fine, so that worked out good. He came up just about a pound short of winning it on the pro side. So we did some of the same stuff that I'd been doing previous to some of the tournaments I'd been fishing down there. So that was I felt pretty good.
For some of you guys that don't know, not only did he win the Costa Series down there, but you won, I think, 2 or 3 Anglers in Action before that.
Yeah, I won back-to-back Anglers in Action fishing with Jeff Moss, and because it's a team event. And there was about 100 boats in in those events, so they're pretty good size events. I think we had 19 pounds in one and 18 pounds in the other, so we had pretty good go of it there.
Now, because of the timing, I would assume the baits were all about the same between the Anglers in Action and what you were doing on the Costa Series. So, if you don't mind, just walk us through a little bit of what you were fishing, what you were throwing, and how you worked your baits.
Yeah. One of my keys to catching my good quality kickers for sure was the Alabama rig, and I mean nothing fancy. I mean, I've used 2 or 3 different brands. I don't know that one matters. I got a lot of confidence in the Flash Mob. There's several other ones that I use. I think a lot of it is just having the confidence to throw it and being familiar with what you're looking at on your graphs, because you're fishing dead water a lot of times if you're throwing out. A lot of people get frustrated because it's a hard bait to throw. You get hung up a lot because you got exposed hooks on it. And I think you just got to have the confidence, know where the bait fish are, and just target those depths and make it work. And I tried different speeds. I tried killing the bait, letting it fall a little bit, and that would trigger some fish sometimes. And I tried speeding it up. And just depending on the day and the time of the day, it seemed like it just kind of kept it mixed up. Another go-to for me this season's been a football jig, just a 1/2 ounce football jig, peanut butter and jelly. Just mixing up my trailers a little bit as far as colors and just trying to match the hatch. I mean, I know everybody says it, but if you're not looking at what's coming up, like I'll look at what the fish are throwing up in the live well, or look at the boat ramp, crawdads or anything around the boat ramps, and just kind of get close as you can, because in my mind, more often than not, they're going to be eating crawdads or they're going to be eating bait fish. So if you're throwing those 2 baits, I think you got a good chance to catch them. So.
Now, I think one more bait we talked about was a shaky head.
Yeah.
Just dive into that a little bit for us.
A lot of times, it seems like when I'm fishing a tournament, I always fish better. I know a lot of anglers will tell you this too. Is like I fish better if I have a limit in the boat, and something that Jeff and I do a lot. We'll pick up a shaky head. This year, I've kind of done a lot of research on Brian Thrift. Let's just say he's won a lot of money in FLW. He's been on a heck of a ride. If you look at a lot of the baits he's throwing a lot of the Damiki baits. This is a Damiki Stinger. I'm throwing it on a shaky head, War Eagle shaky head, and then I'll dye the tail, in a couple different colors. If you're on Table Rock, something with a little bit of purple seems to be good too. So I always have a little purple flake in it. Just depends on where I'm at. But this will catch fish year round any lake. And if I can get 5 in the boat, I just feel like I fish a lot more relaxed, and I think it helps me sometimes to have that limit in there. So
What's the schedule look like for the rest of the season?
this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, I'll be at Table Rock fishing the AIA there, and then I'm going to leave that lake and go straight, come back home for the night, and then take a nap basically and go to Grand and fish the AIA there. In the open division, we're sitting just a few places out of first, but we haven't fished 4 tournaments where everybody that's beaten us has. So I'm hoping to get a good finish out of one of those 2 tournaments and get the lead in the open division.
Sure.
So.
And you plan on fishing the other 2 coastas to try to qualify for the championship, correct?
Yep. I'm going to go to Kentucky Lake. Actually, we'll be going out of on the Barkley side, and then I'll be at Lake of the Ozarks. And then the championship, if I were fortunate enough to make the top 40, I'll be on Gunnersville. So all those lakes fit the way I like to fish. I'm hoping I can go at least pull off some good finishes to get through and be sitting there at the end in the top 40 and make the championship. So that's my goal anyway this year.
We'll be rooting for you. Guys, there you have it. Chad Allison, FLW Costa Series co-angler champ, 2-time Anglers in Action champ this year. Chad, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.